Thank you. I want to thank the chairman. Obviously, want to thank the ranking member as well as our witnesses for being here today. A lot of questions that I do have, and I'm going to try to go through some of them. But we know, as members of Congress, we were sent here on behalf of our constituents and to represent them to our best of our ability. Recent polling has been outlined by members on both sides, have shown that Americans' trust in Congress is at a 5-decade low. Incredible. So I'm going to ask a few questions. First, Mr. Copeland, how would you strengthen the required financial disclosures among members to be effective in deterring corporate trading practices?
Well, I mean, the disclosures right now are reasonable. I mean, $1,000 is a reasonably low threshold. 45 days is reasonable. I think the question there would be, in terms of disclosure, would a pre-disclosure or pre-clearance be a better prophylactic? And I think you can think about certain exceptions in these outlier cases. If someone's got a large chunk of stock in a single company, there may need to be certain allowances made, but I think those are exceptional cases. In the ordinary case, I think there's no reason why we couldn't have something like that, which I think would deter, it would deter the value of your insider trade, because if it's certainly if it's made public in advance, but even if it's just made in advance to the ethics office, then it's something that could raise a red flag, right? So you'd be ceding some control there. But I think if you wanted to stop short of a total divestiture rule, like some of these bills contemplate, that's a reasonable step to step up the Stock Act.
Okay, so let me, Mr. Civics, you mentioned, I think in your testimony, that you felt that $200 was not an adequate amount as a fine. What do you think would be a sufficient amount? And a second part of that, what changes would you propose to adequately fine those that violate the Stock Act? And the reason I say that, should the fine actually be a percentage of the amount involved in the transaction, or some variation of a theme on that?
Yes, the bill we've endorsed, the Restore Trust in Congress Act, would change the fine to the greater of two amounts, either $1,000 or the amount of profit made or loss avoided based on the trade that's in violation. And we'd be open to assessing whether that becomes a percentage in follow-on proposals, but we think the balance struck in the Restore Trust in Congress Act, $1,000 or the profit made, whichever's larger.
Okay, so the profit made. But as a percentage, is there anything that you think in a percentage-wise?
Not specific numbers. Open to looking at any and all. I believe it's 100% of the profit made, and okay, as the text of the Restore Trust in Congress, as I read it. And
I'm going to open this up for any of you, quite frankly. What happens in the situation, and many of you spent some time on the Hill, and you look at many of us around here, we all have family. What happens in the instance where, unfortunately, somebody passes and you inherit, whether it's land, whether it's some type of stock, ownership of a company? How do we address that? And I would open that up to any of you. Thankfully, I've not had to go through that, but
to some degree, that's easier unless you're talking about closely held businesses, family businesses, farms. I mean, because the capital basis, the capital gains basis would step up in the estate, right? So it would be easy to dispose of a publicly traded security in that case, without anything else. You could easily divest such things. Again, there are exceptional cases out there, and a lot of times that's what we are most worried about, are the cases where you've got a swimming pool, or you've got a farm, or something like that's not easily disposed of. But otherwise, that sort of event, most of these bills, if you come into it, it would just have a similar window of time to dispose of, and in the ordinary case, that'd be pretty simple.
Okay. Anybody else with that? Okay. Well, I want to thank you all for being here today. Again, I want to thank the chairman. With that, I'll yield it back.